Hey, Amanda, how's it
Hey,
going?
Keith. It's good. Long time no see. Where have you been?
The holidays disrupted my travel times. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm back on the road again.
Well, good to see you. And where have you been? Tell us what you've observed.
The Gypsy Soul has been on the road, and my one of my most curious trips lately has been to Owensboro, Kentucky. Have you ever been to Owensboro?
Can't say I have.
I
Is it a
grew up
place I should put on
in
my bucket list?
uh, you could do it. You could hit it in a couple other places in a day. You know, I don't know if you have to spend the night there or not. Unless
Okay.
unless our viewers are from Owensboro, then you can spend a week there.
Exactly. Who's willing to host?
Yeah. So, uh, you know, growing up in a river city, I always enjoy the rivers and all the activity around it. And driving around river cities is always pretty hard too because the roads are always peculiar in river cities. But Owensboro is a river city. It's just a little bit east of Evansville, Indiana, on the Ohio River, but it's in Kentucky, and it's just a wonderful place to stop by. I was had to go down there for some personal business and lost a close one to COVID, and so that was my trip. I made a couple trips as a result of that. So I'm kind of merging both of my trips to Owensboro into one conversation, but um, you just can't get to Owensboro from here.
Now, what do you mean?
Well, if you're doing any driving now, they have pretty much shut down I-69 between Indianapolis and Bloomington, and that's kind of the quickest way to get down towards Owensboro. So you kind of either have to go around Bloomington or around Martinsville and come back in off State Road 67, or you go down I-65 towards Louisville and cut across I-64, and that's a little longer journey than it probably was just a few weeks ago. But the I-69 construction in Martinsville is moving along quickly. They've shut down that whole stretch so that they can just accelerate the process. And if you come back from the south through Martinsville now, you can actually stay on 37 and get back to Indianapolis. But that's a challenging journey. But we took um, my trips. I did it a couple different ways, but I took Louisville to uh, I-64 just north of Louisville there, and cut across, and we hit a somewhat blizzard-like weather, and they don't have snow plows down there, so you almost can't get there from here. And then if you go, I think it's to Dale, Indiana, and head south there, you go across the William Hatcher Bridge, which is really a cool bridge. It's a cable bridge, and there's one like in Charleston, South Carolina, that looks a lot like it. Have you ever been to Charleston?
Nope, that's definitely on my bucket list.
Yeah, I love either running or walking or jogging across bridges and stuff. And the one that crosses the Ohio River right into Owensboro there, that William Hatcher Bridge, that if you're a bridge connoisseur, it's a cool bridge, so it's worth part of the trip.
Would you
Um,
consider yourself a bridge connoisseur?
Probably, I'm kind of a bridge snob. Uh, those that don't travel with me might not want to either. I had a 42-foot RV, 45-foot RV, and the sign said not to take it over a bridge if you're over X weight. And I just thought, if you're over that weight, the way you would go over it is just go faster. So anyway,
And you're still with us today, so you live to tell the tale.
I think the bridge is too, so we'll see. Well, if you go down to Owensboro, the I would get, and I would get a hotel on the river, just because why go to a river city if you're not going to enjoy the river? And we got one up high on the hotel, which is 5 floors, I think, there, and just overlooked the river, that's kind of entertaining. Uh, the the hotel, I think it was a Holiday Inn we stayed at, just across the parking lot was the Bridge Brewery, and the Bridge Brewery has been struggling to survive through COVID, and the young owner of it was really creative and did a lot of things to try to keep his business open. And so Connie and I had dinner with him, and he's not only the owner, but he was the bingo caller.
That's awesome.
So we had dinner and bingo, the two of us, and I won a round of bingo and got a free appetizer for my next trip to Owensboro.
Oh,
Kentucky. So
love
that's
to hear about that
Owensboro.
next year.
I'll get back to you when that happens. But on a more somber side, what this trip caused me to think through philosophically, the COVID pandemic has been really dangerous for those folks over 80. Say that it's been a dangerous place for them, and not much danger for those younger than 60, I don't think. But this person that passed away was 60, and I was going to visit the family, and it occurred to me as I was going that as one who is close to 60, that by going to the funeral and visiting the family who was subjected to the COVID, that it was kind of one of those decisions that there's an old saying that perfect love casts out all fear. Is my choice was to have fear and not go to the funeral and possibly be exposed to the COVID, or to express love and go to the funeral and take that risk. And so that was my choice, was to go to the funeral home and express my condolences and love to the family. And so that was a real interesting thought process for me. And I'm sure many of our viewers that are traveling or having concerns with COVID have those similar type of situations. They just don't really know how to respond to situations. I would say if you're younger than 60 and reasonable health, don't choose the fear side, choose the love side. And I'd also say if you are ever thinking about going to Southern Indiana, Owensboro is worth a visit. It's a fun little place to get a feel for it. And they have kind of done like what we've got here in Carmel with their downtown area. It's got a real hip vibe in downtown Owensboro. And so it's worth the trip. I'd encourage you to hit Owensboro.
You've convinced me. Added it to my bucket list.
All right.
Well, thanks for the message. See ya.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Keith.